Hey everyone, I wanted to make a quick video. This one's just on getting people's attention. It's a lead generation particular tactic, something that I think probably has been utilized before. Obviously, someone else has made a website on this that I'm going to show you guys, but I wanted to come up with an idea that I think is pretty awesome. I definitely am borrowing from a couple people, but that was an interesting concept. So I wanted to show it to you guys, and would love to hear your thoughts. If you have any specific, tactics that you're using to get in touch with the person that you're trying to do business with, or create a strategic alliance or a partnership or whatever. Would love to hear what your thoughts are and how you're doing it. But this one's an interesting one. It's going to be fun. I think you guys will enjoy it. So basically, the idea here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to basically find a person that, you want to send an email to, right? That you want to get business with. All right? So the email is obviously just your first touch point, and then you're like hoping for them to respond back and try to have a call. That's great. Would love to, see how that really works. I mean, more and more people are either basically not checking their email often. They're putting in designated times. I definitely do that myself. Or utilizing VAs and adding in more and more touch points to make sure that they can be more productive in their day. And I truly admire that. I respect it. But you still want to get in touch with people. So what do you do to, get people's attention? And you send out that mail, you send out a LinkedIn request, whatever. You do a personal invite, personal note when you make that connection. All that's great, but typically doesn't work, right? You're just basically praying and hoping that that person's going to respond back to you. So that's great. You can do that. You can just keep going and find another person that you want to talk to, and just basically just go through as many people as you can and play the numbers game. Or you can get really strategic behind it. And if you got some specific person you're trying to get in touch with, they're a tech company, they're whatever they are, right? They could be anything that you're trying to do. Either you're trying to sell them something, or you like to work with them in one form or fashion. Or, quite frankly, even if you are applying for a job, you could utilize the same tactic here, which I'm going to show you. Basically, here's the idea, right? So the idea would be that you are going to send out the mail, you're going to send out the LinkedIn message, right? The email. But then what you would want to do before you send all of that out is do some due diligence, get your contact that you're trying to get in touch with and actually have a meeting with, to basically see one particular concept, right? So the idea is get them to go to a specific website that you can actually cookie. Most people might not get what I mean on that, but that's fine. If you are understanding a little bit of Facebook pixels and Google pixels, I'd actually recommend doing both. The idea here is to use a web page with a video on it. So I'm going to use a sales video template icon here and be very, very personal. So I'm going to go here to GoDaddy, everyone's favorite friend when you're coming up with a new idea, right? The idea would be to get a personal domain that's not going to be hard to actually acquire. You can use a .com, you can use a .us, you can do whatever, but make it personal. So let's just say I would like to have a meeting with, I'm trying to come up with a name right now. Let's see. Here we go. Video for Gary. And I guarantee this is probably not going to show up. So we're going to just do it together and see. But let's just see. Oh, actually it is. Videoforgary.com. $1.09 a month. Great. That's pretty cheap. It's worth it. Quite frankly, after a while, you might want to just go ahead and delete it. Whatever. It doesn't matter in general. But buy that domain, right? So you're going to buy a domain called videoforgary.com. I'm actually surprised that it actually is available. So we'll basically want to put a page on it. You can use ClickFunnels, you can build it on WordPress with Elementor. It doesn't really matter. But you're going to have a personal message to that person here. You're not going to do any other call to action other than like, hey, been trying to get your attention, determined to get your attention, because I have a really awesome idea for you, whatever it may be, right? So your call to action is just really booking an appointment. That's it. Or getting them to actually call you, whatever it may be. So you can either have them book an appointment with you after, or they can actually have a button on the website, on this particular website, that says call, and have it call your phone, or have both. Literally have one to schedule a time. Busy. Don't have the time right this second. That's fine. Be funny about it. Add humor to this particular page, and put in a button there saying, I get it, you're busy, still would like to talk to you, right? Schedule a time here. Or the next button next to that could be just, call now, let's talk now, right? We can have some fun with this. So how are we going to get people to see that particular website that you're going to build? It's just a simple one-pager. This is not a funnel in one form or fashion. I mean, I guess you could say it's kind of a funnel, but it's not really. Let's just call it a funnel. Why not? So the idea here is, how do we get the traffic, right? We're going to do the email, just because we know we are. We're going to message them that way. We can get personal if you want to. This is how hungry are you, right? Like, it's really just about how do you want to get someone to actually respond to you. And honestly, everything's kind of off limit. They're like, basically fair games at this point, right? Like, it's not off limits anymore. So, you could do IG, you could do Facebook Messenger. Hell, you could even Snapchat them if you want, but I'm not going to throw that. But why not? Let's just do it. Anything else you guys see that's interesting? Let's see. That's kind of it, right? Those are your main guys, right? Honestly, you can actually pick up the phone and have them call, right? So phone. Let's just use phone. Now, if you want to be fun about it, don't do the nonsense of pitching them when they call you, right? Like, no one has the time these days for that particular element. So instead of doing it that way, even if you do call and they somehow miraculously do pick up, and by all means, make the phone call. It's not bad. As long as you have a cadence, you have a process, you're good to go. So when you make that phone call, you're not telling them what you're trying to talk about, right? Like, you're not offering them anything. You're not pitching your service. You're not pitching anything. All you're doing is letting them know, like, hey, I'm actually surprised that you picked up. That's awesome. I'm going to actually shoot you an email or shoot you a text, whatever works, right after, with your permission, to a page that I built out specifically for you, right? And then, when you have some time, we can actually talk about this. That's it. And just get the yes, because honestly, it's about rapport building a little bit, and they might actually hesitate and say, no, I'm not interested. So be genuine and say, no, look, I get it. I know you're busy, whatever it may be. Don't bring up the offer. Like, you're just looking to have a relationship built, right? So just bring up that, you're going to be sending that video. And whether they watch it or not, just leave it up to them, right? So, if you have some time, I'm going to make this video specifically for you. So if it's something of interest, and you got a little bit of time to talk about it, or watch it, right? Then just go ahead and do that. So don't even bring up another call. Just say that, if you got a little bit of time to watch it, it's going to be a couple short minutes, right? That's it. And, they're probably going to at least just say, yeah, sure, why not, right? Like their natural reaction will be, yeah, sure, or no, forget it, I'm not talking to you, right? It doesn't really matter either way. If they're being rude about it, they might not be actually worth actually having that business relationship anyway, right? So that's fine. So that's why I'm going to throw a phone on here just for that purpose. But remember, we're not utilizing that phone call. If they actually pick up, we're not actually saying book or talk about your actual offer. They're not going to give you that time because they're probably doing something else. Everyone, even if you're doing nothing, you're doing something, right? So, I mean, it's just the way that the world is right now. No one wants to have a phone call on someone else's time. When they are ready to pick up the phone and talk to you, that's great. But they could literally be just chilling on the couch. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. They don't want to speak to you. They want to be chilling on the couch. And I get it. So that's all those components here, right? We're going to have all of these go to a sales video. One piece that I think will do amazing is, quite frankly, direct mail, right? And so I'm going to add that in here, and I'm going to explain the whole concept. And, you guys are all more than, willing, if you guys want to. You guys are more than, happy to utilize this particular concept. It's just an idea. I'm going to actually do a follow-up video and see how many people have actually responded to it. So this is going to be my challenge to you. I would love to see how this works. It's an idea that, I found a website that actually can make this idea happen. So let's see together if this particular concept could work. In my opinion, sometimes I'm a betting man. I think it will work. But the concept here, all these are different ways that someone's going to get in touch with you, right? That's great. They're all going to go to a sales video. Remember, again, on this page, it's going to be on video with Gary.com. And because I want to get fancy, I'm going to actually drop that there too. So we know that that's it. The call to action, remember, is not buying something, not pushing someone onto something else. It's a relationship built. So call to action is, I'm thinking again, 2 buttons, right? First button, be funny about it. So remember again, it's, I get it. You're busy. Let's schedule a time when you have, let's schedule a call when you have time, right? So that's CTA 1, CTA 2, second button, right? So second button is they actually are so interested because they're just maybe even happy that you did something that's different, right? Then the second button is like, let's talk now. And you can do, especially because if they're doing this on mobile. If they're doing it on mobile, it's even better. But if they hit that let's talk now button, make it dial. So you can actually call to, your phone number. And it's an action. We can put a little video or a link to this particular video or to instructions specifically on how to make that anchor, that button actually call your phone, right? Without actually having to dial it, right? Like actually having to put that number into, your iPhone's ringer or whatever it is. So it's going to actually just dial out, which is the beauty of that, right? So that's the 2 buttons. For the advanced guys, right? Here's the fun stuff. If they watch that video, right? If they don't watch the video, you could do something fun as well. But I'm going to show you guys something kind of cool. So I'm going to take a Facebook, paid, YouTube, paid, and why not? Instagram, paid as well, right? So we're going to pixel them. So they're going to go and watch that video. If they don't watch the video, that's fine too. You're going to want to create 2 different ad sets then. What I'll do is make 2 different setups here. So this is going to be if, watched video, right? So I'm going to just put in watched video here. So you're going to want to make 2 other videos. And you could have the same video be on FB and IG and even YouTube. It's not a big deal from that particular perspective, but you still want to do it this way. So sales video on Video with Gary, if they watch it, they're pixeled. That's even better, right? Because you can put in a video or even a graphic, it doesn't matter, that basically says, hey, book a call. I'm sure you thought that, ball was funny. I'm trying to get really personal here, right? Like, this is an audience of 1. It's not expensive, right? You're not doing a whole direct campaign. You're doing an audience of 1. And you're utilizing that pixel to get that person's information and, actually utilize it on Facebook or IG. Believe me, they're going to have some fun with it if they can actually make it work, right? Like, if they actually get to see that video because they didn't click on that button, you can actually even make the conversion be if they don't click the button. So if they watch the video but don't click a button to actually schedule a time with you. Once you have this set up once, quite frankly, you just duplicate, right? You find that next person, you buy the domain, you put the same template up, change out the videos, you're done. It's kind of cool. So that's the particular concept there. All of these are going to have videos that are if they have watched a video. If they haven't watched a video, that's fine. They still landed on the page. We still have cookied them. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to use Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm going to put these guys right here and do the same. Okay. So, and then this is like, again, this is the idea is if didn't watch video. So that's, what's going to happen here. If they don't watch the video, that's fine. If they did watch the video, that's even better, right? You don't want to send them back to this particular page though, right? All of these guys are going to want to go to a booking page. So don't put the booking page on here. Just have it as a button on this sales video page, right? Like you're going to have 2 buttons like we talked about. One is I know you're busy. One is let's talk, right? And it's going to directly call. So the next thing that you do, because we don't want to make it a complicated funnel. We don't want to make too many different pages here. It's just a calendar page. That's it. That's all we're trying to do. And if they hit that button that they want to schedule, they're going to go to this calendar page. It's going to be tied into your Google Calendar. If you're a Microsoft user, Exchange, whatever, Office 365, you could utilize an Office 365 calendar. It doesn't matter. Just have your availabilities right here. Whatever you want to do. So that's great. Now the concept is, again, these ads where they're not, and just for the interest of making this clean, I'm going to just do it that way. If these guys here, and we'll actually just do that, just so they can kind of make it a little bit cleaner. No, stop. All right. There we go. So anyone that didn't watch, we're going to say, hey, sad that you didn't watch and schedule, right? Or just schedule. Let's just talk. If you go back to that particular domain, watch and then schedule. It doesn't matter, but let's just get them to a calendar page because they haven't watched a video. They're not ready to watch it. So don't make them watch it. Just get them to the calendar. And again, we're not making a huge audience here, right? Like, so it's not going to cost you much. You can probably put $10 into this and still make it work. So that's the beauty of it. And then if they have watched a video, but again, have not scheduled, do the same thing. And instead of calendar, I'm just going to make that say schedule or book a call, right? So this is how this is looking. I know it looks kind of crazy, but it's actually not. It's not that crazy. Once you do this, just give them a thank you page. Like, hey, thanks. I respect you. I'm going to talk to you about a couple things. And maybe just give them the agenda. Because, everyone likes to have their agenda, right? Like, otherwise they're just going to not really take it completely interested, with the full thought process behind it. So that's fine. So thank you. Set agenda. Call this the thank you and set agenda page. All of this is, again, living on videowithgary.com. So that's the beauty of this. It's pretty straightforward and simple. You don't need to add any other tech into this, right? Like some people will go and say, well, it'll be higher chances for us to send a text to remind them about that call. I mean, you could, by all means, especially if you're doing this for a lot of people. But if you want to be strategic about it, you got to make it look personal. And that's actually looking less personal at this point. So you're going to be, you guys are probably saying like, well, great, this is all awesome. How do we actually get them to get to this particular page, right? Like, the email and all of this other stuff is not 100% guarantee. So how do we actually increase the odds, right? Even the phone call. Remember, the phone call, while we're doing is we're telling them to go watch the video. I know you're busy. I get it. I'm actually surprised that you picked up. Be honest. And let them know that, go watch the video. It's on videowithgary.com or whatever, videowithandres.com. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, whoever you're trying to talk to, do the same thing. Let's talk about this piece here, the direct mail. It's kind of a cool one. And again, this is something I just kind of thought about after reading about this particular website. And I think it's a brilliant idea. I've been pitched a couple of different times on services that are basically saying reward someone to have a meeting with you by giving them a Starbucks gift card and all that stuff. Honestly, that doesn't work anymore, right? Like, it just doesn't. I mean, I've seen a couple of tech software companies, right? Like some SaaS companies basically give a $50 gift card if you, the person that they're trying to reach, actually does book a time with them. By all means, that's great because it's $50 for free if you have the time, but that's not the main purpose, right? You're just a tire kicker. So I'm not saying to do that. It's not going to work. It's not a bad idea to have an incentive for someone to talk to you. Gift giving is definitely a solid way for someone to remember you, and as long as you can be funny about it and they actually do remember you, right? Instead of doing a normal gift card or something like that, giving a gift card to someone you never even talked with. How about you go literal, right? So this is where this new website came out. It's really cool. I love the idea of it. Some people might have heard of this. But I just wanted to bring attention to it. It's really kind of a cool little setup. What you're doing. This is actually great for even podcasters, right? You can send your podcast guests that you want to, bring onto your podcast the same setup. And that's a strategic ask. It's great. Why not? So the particular element here, these guys are on Shark Tank too. It's kind of cool. I guess that's a good example of someone actually believing this, right? So you're going to order a ball. It's literally what you're trying to do anyway, right? You're trying to have a conversation. A conversation is a two-way communication, right? Marco Polo likes to have that little volleyball. I don't know if anyone has tested out Marco Polo, the app, and it's pretty much the same concept, right? Like you're literally giving a ball. It's a volley. And the concept is that you are specifically wanting the other person to talk back to you. So, whatever you want to do, make it in your company colors if you want. It doesn't matter. Kind of a pretty interesting thing. You can actually send a potato too if you want. It's an expensive potato. By all means, I actually say if you're going to send a potato to someone, just literally go to your pantry, pick up a potato, and put it in the mail. I wouldn't spend $18 to send out a potato. You can write on a potato and send it to someone, and it'd be hilarious. But yeah, I'm not really down for $18 to send a potato, at least. The balls, that sounds a lot more interesting to me. So you can write, someone will write it down to you, right? Add to ball, send, sign it, put your first name, all your info, right? How it's being shipped. And you can snail mail it, USPS, for free, or pay for more quicker ways to get in touch with someone. So that's great. Whatever you want to do. I'm not down to pay $18 for potatoes. It's really a principle thing for me. I just don't think it's worth it. I definitely am down to go buy a bag of potatoes and make mashed potatoes one day, and keep all the extras to send out to random people I want to talk to. If I wanted to go the hot potato route, right? But if you want to just do the ball, which is also amazing, and again, you just choose your color. You can do a giant stress ball if you want, or just one of those grocery store bouncy balls. So I'm going to use that blue because blue is my favorite color. So I'm just going to use that and choose the color, write whatever I want to say, sign it, put all that kind of good stuff. When you sign it, you can just write your name out again. I actually thought that I was going to be a signature. That would have been awesome if it was, but it's not. But you can actually add a drawing. That's kind of cool. I would actually do that. And you can put it in a drawing there, wherever it's going to go. Again, you then ship it out. And man, oh man, that's pretty an awesome setup. Remember, this is the vessel. This is the ball that's going to go out. And this is the funnel that will get them to actually do something with you, right? Like it's going to be video with Gary, whatever it is. Whatever the name of that person is going to go here. You're going to be able to pixel them. You can get them to actually be on your email list. You can do a lot. This is all great, all of these guys. But, again, it's just pray, right? You're just praying that person's actually doing it. There's no way that actually is the best strategy. I mean, it's just what you have to do when you're trying to make a sale or get a job or, want to have that person on a podcast or just have a strategic alliance. So you might do all of that and, just hope that they actually do. The phone call, honestly, people are just, again, they're just going to be irritated because people just don't like to talk anymore on the phone. Me included, right? So even if you're going to make that phone call just because you want to check it off and, it's a good habit to do because you might get lucky. But if they do, don't pitch. Push them to the video. It's going to be better because you can get more reach out of that person in the long haul if you even do that. These ads, remember, are not direct ads. They're all retargeting ads. So it's cents on the dollar, $10 budget for the week that you're sending it. That's it. Just turn it off after that. You don't have to have it running all the time. So let's put the numbers on the screen, right? So you got $10 for retargeting. You got $9.99 a year, maybe $11, whatever, $12 for the domain. And hopefully you already have a ClickFunnels account. If you don't, it's not a problem. We'll help you get set up. I can give you a free trial on it if you want. But I'd recommend using ClickFunnels because you don't need to make a web developer or WordPress guy do that, right? This is a simple setup. And there's actually no copy. Don't even make it ridiculous and have a lot of copy and psychological nonsense. It's not necessary. I know we're all talking about that, but for this particular concept, you don't need it. You're not here to sell them on that page. You're just here to book them. That's it. You want to talk to them. So what do we talk about here, right? We got $11 for the domain. We have a $10 ad budget. So far we're at $21. And these are, let's just say 22. Let's just say 25 for all intents and purposes. Under $50, right? You can have a higher probability of that person actually responding back to you. You do the ROI on that on yourself, right? It depends on what you're selling or if you want to get a job or whatever it may be. It still is a solid way of getting your name out to the person you want to touch. And it's an amazing story. And honestly, everything's all about story, right? If you can be a good storyteller, Like, hey, yeah, this person actually made a video and put it on a separate website. You can even have that story or that funny part actually say that, I'm going to remove this after a month because I don't want to have your domain up, utilized forever. But that's up to you, right? Like, you don't have to have this for years. You can just let it expire after you're done. So it's not a big deal. But under $50, you have a higher probability of getting in touch with the person you want to have a strategic alliance or sale with, or a podcast with, right? It doesn't matter whatever the ask is, but you now have a way to communicate with them over and over again through the ads because they are pixeled. They probably will open up that whatever package because it's going to be a random shaped ball. So it's just abstract and it works, right? So direct mail still works. I know it takes longer for the post office and whatever else now, but try it out. I am also going to do the same. Again, this is a new idea for me. I've not tested it yet, but I invite you to do the same. Let's all try it and see if it works. And if it does, man, maybe we're onto something. But it definitely will at least allow you to capture that person's information, get them onto your email list, and get a lead out of it, plus a good story. So I can't guarantee that person's going to call you back based off of this, but I do think it's going to be more beneficial than just praying and hoping with an email. Happy Sunday, and talk to you guys soon.